Now, Kenya has hired a Washington lobbying firm for $2.1 million, that's approximately 271 million shillings, to push its agenda in the U.S., chiefly to press for a favorable post-AGOA trade agreement and to drum up support for a Kenya-led security role in Haiti. Now, the contract, which the government says will be publicly filed under U.S. foreign agent rules, uses lobbyists with strong Republican connections to open doors in Washington and also to accelerate conversations on trade, security, and financing. Nairobi insists that this kind of engagement is routine diplomacy, but critics say that the timing, the scale, and secrecy are worrying, especially with AGOA's future uncertain and Kenya deepening ties with China at the same time. Now, the real question is whether high-priced access will turn into concrete trade or security wins, or just a costly PR exercise. Today on The Conversation, I'm joined by Dr. Gnaka Lagoke. He's an associate professor of history and Pan-Africana studies in Lincoln University. Thank you so much, Dr. Lagoke, for joining us at this time. Apologies for pronouncing your first name wrong.
No problem.
It's a pleasure.
It's all good. Thanks very much for the opportunity. I'm happy to be here in your presence.
It's a pleasure to have you. So let's start on a simple note. $2.1 million, to lobby in Washington. From your perspective, is this a smart move? Is it a smart investment in diplomacy?
Oh, yeah, what can I say? This is what they do. We talk about Kenya today. Gabon did it. Congo, Brazzaville did it. The Democratic Republic of Congo, Ivory Coast, many other countries. It is the practice in the United States. People think that in order to have, the years of those who are in power, it is good to go through those lobby groups, and then so it is the practice. But most of the time, I don't see the real results. When people do those things, they may have the sympathy of some here and there, but it does not change the fate of those African nations, and particularly in the age of the revival of Pan-Africanism. This is where we think Kenya should focus. Its efforts in order to avoid to meet Donald Trump in the White House.
Okay, now, can you tell us, for the sake of those who have no idea, what exactly is it that they are buying? Because the government calls this a standard and a legitimate, practice of statecraft.
Yeah, so this is what I was saying. Like you said in your introduction, maybe, I want to still be serious economic ties or commercial ties with now with regard to AGOA. They don't want Donald Trump in order to remove to take away the status of a non-NATO ally of the United States, and many other things. There are also the threats of Donald Trump, who, if you are not with him, then he sees you as an enemy. So we can understand that it's a way of engaging some political elites in the United States, so that they can have some conversation. Like the Kenyan government said, I said that in the beginning, it is part of politics in the United States. When people want to try and sway the position of American leaders, when they want to pass like a point of view in the political arena, they do that. They go through different lobby groups in order to to engage those who are leading the United States. But what I'm saying is that maybe one day that's also an investigation that need to be done, so that people can really see if it is really fruitful. But I don't think in the case of Kenya that it is going to help the country in the long term. Maybe when he comes here, because I heard also that he may come, the Kenyan president may come to the United States. Maybe when he comes here, he may have some cordial relationship with Donald Trump or people who are in the leadership position, but it does not help in the long run. This is what I'm saying.
All right, now you talked about, to wait and see if it's going to be fruitful, but the FARA filing actually shows that the deal is about $175,000 a month for a 12-month period. So how should the government demonstrate value for money for that kind of spend, especially when it comes to lobbying contracts?
Yeah, okay. I won't use that word, but that is the norm. No one can have a lobby group in the United States, a serious one, for $50,000 a year. Usually it is at least like $500,000, at least $500,000 a year, and then some charge $1 million. There are some that even charge more than $1 million a year. So now I was watching a video when I was preparing this show. I saw a Kenyan who said that with that they can build a number of schools and then roads in Kenya. I understand that, but again, the government of Kenya decided to prioritize the relationship with the United States, because even though Kenya and then is engaging China, Kenya does not want to lose its relationship or its priority relationship with the United States, and they thought that by paying that money, that they may sway the position of Donald Trump and the administration.
All right, now let's talk about the obvious reason here, which is AGOA. With that deal due to expire in September, that's this month, is this last-minute lobbying more panic-driven than strategic, would you say?
Oh, I think I will say the former, panic-driven. Not to waste time on that question. But William Ruto is not in a good position. In the beginning, when he came to power, some of us were a little bit, I would say, we were moderately optimistic about his stance on Pan-Africanism, on the sovereignty of Africa. But later on, with the uprising in Kenya, people are asking him to leave the power with the Ruto Must Go movement. And then he crushed, some dissenters, and some people were taken to prison, some were killed. So that is the situation at home. And on the global front, he decided to side with the United States and the European power to send some military to some police officers to Haiti. They are there. They've been there for at least 1 year, and we have not seen the real results of that Kenya is involved. And because of the relationship between Kenya, Donald Trump is bullying everyone, is throwing at the countries in the world. They think that they may save, the involvement in AGOA, and they may keep the status of a non-NATO member. So I think that it is a sign of panic. I don't think that it is in the beginning, as soon as he came to power.
All right, now, aside the AGOA Act, Doctor, Kenya is also leading the Haiti multinational security mission, but the deployment remains below promised levels, right? So would you say that this is also tied to security and also securing finance for their mission in Haiti?
Oh, yeah, this is what I said. So it be Haiti, AGOA, the non-NATO ally status, and then also because also there's one thing that I did not stress too much is that I think that one of the reasons is that Ruto does not want to have the fate of Ramaphosa and Zelensky in the White House. It's also part of it. Because then when he comes to negotiate, he wants to avoid all those things that happen to other leaders. So yes, it is security reason, economic reason, and then also the image of his country on the global stage. and also so that you can have the leverage to try and then control people at home. So this is what I see.
All right. So now, what about the fact that, some have said that Kenya is seriously hedging, because on one hand, they're deepening ties with China, and on the other, they're spending heavily to stay close to Washington. How do you interpret, this balancing act?
Yeah. So on this, I agree with every African president because this is what China, Russia, and the BRICS countries bring on the table. They give to African countries the power of choice. We are in the age where we have the right to choose our partners as Africans. This, I understand that. But at the same time, for the United States, you are, particularly Donald Trump, you are either with America or they see you as an enemy. So because Kenya wants to still continue its relationship with China, which I respect, which we understand, but at the same time, this is not how Donald Trump understands international affairs. So then, if they need to invest $1 million in order to sway the position of the United States, to convince them that Kenya is still a reliable partner, also to fight against terrorism, like in East Africa, so this is what I think the Kenyan leadership is doing.
So you don't think it's going to backfire on Kenya's image globally at all, making it look like it's buying influence?
No, of course it's going to backfire. We are in the age of the revival of Pan-Africanism. We want African leaders to understand that it is about sovereignty, and we want them to be innovative in the adoption of policies. And then we are not seeing that in Senegal. We may see that a little bit in Burkina Faso. We are not seeing that in Kenya and many other African countries. So by paying $1 million, so that's the old tactics that African leaders have used, and many of them even spent many millions of dollars, and then they could not secure the support of the United States when there is an uprising in their respective countries. So it's going to backfire. For the image of Ruto, of course, it's not a positive image because, like I said, by supporting the Western police force, like in Haiti, many Pan-Africanists do not agree with that. By cracking down dissenters in Kenya who were fighting against his economic policies inspired by the International Monetary Fund, this, of course, damaged the image of the Kenyan president. And now you're fighting to be part of AGOA. You're fighting to still maintain the status of non-NATO ally status. And at the same time, you're spending $1 million that you could have used to build schools and roads and hospitals in Kenya. Of course, it's a bad publicity.
Dr. Lagoke, you earlier talked about, the continent, African continent coming together and moving towards Pan-Africanism. But do you think that Kenya could have achieved similar goals through African Union channels or even regional trade blocs rather than paying such high-priced lobbyists in Washington?
Yeah, because I like this question a lot, even though this conversation is about Pan-Africanism. Because what we want them to do is that they have to engage, understand that today the emphasis on the sovereignty of the respect, and they have to put emphasis on regional, like a strong regional integration of African economies and African markets. And they have to put emphasis on the ideal of Pan-Africanism. That is the basis. That is the beginning. So when you do that, you don't run to China, you don't run to the United States to seek some markets. They can transform the African domestic markets into reliable and viable markets. They can transform those African products, or they can transform the raw materials to have some manufactured products. They can sell on the African market. They are not doing that. If you are running to China or you are running to America to sell your coffee or your cocoa, then it means that you don't understand the aspirations of your people, and then the meaning of the time in which we are living. So this is what I will say, to answer your question.
All right, now we're about wrapping up now. Would love your final thoughts, and we would love if you could speak to us or give us your thoughts, especially if the lobbyists, open doors, but there are no trade deals or even no funding follows. What political fallout should we expect at home?
Yes, I think that it is going to boost the agenda of those who were asking him, to leave power, and then I think they're going to embolden to continue to revamp, to rekindle the Ruto must go movement, and then so I don't know how he's going to to react, but yes, I think that to wrap up, I think that like I said, it is important for African countries to understand that we are in the age of the revival of Pan-Africanism. Everything that can be done to reinforce the ties between those African countries, that is the most important thing to do. And then if people come together, they share experiences, they share knowledge, they can try to live up to the aspirations of the African masses that want to live like in better living conditions.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Gnaka Lagoke, Associate Professor of History and Pan-Africana Studies in Lincoln University, for joining us and speaking on this.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.